The following program is a part of Black Squirrel Entertainment.
This week we've got all sorts of Nintendo news.
And Street Fighter 2.
All Systems Go starts right now. Greetings and welcome back to another episode of All Systems Go, the only show that has no paid DLC. I'm Limited Edition Laz.
And I'm Cutscene Skipper Cassandra. Let's get started. Nintendo's latest Direct was packed with big announcements for both the Switch and the upcoming Switch 2, along with news on how the company will celebrate Super Mario Bros.' 40th anniversary next year. Highlights include Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 coming in a bundled release this October, complete with upgraded visuals and new content. And in April 2026, Nintendo will release the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the cinematic follow-up to last year's box office hit. Other reveals included Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, a brand new Fire Emblem, and even a Virtual Boy remake. Fans can also jump into new Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC today, adding DK Island and the fast-paced Emerald Rush mode. And Zelda fans, mark your calendars. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment launches November 6th, promising to dig deeper into the mysteries of the Tears of the Kingdom. With so many new releases, remakes, and surprises, Nintendo is clearly giving fans plenty to look forward to this year and beyond, whether you're exploring galaxies, islands, or Hyrule itself.
On the other end of the Nintendo news spectrum, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have obtained 2 more U.S. patents to use in their controversial lawsuit against Pocket Pair's Pal World, being ones for the concepts of smooth switching of riding objects and summoning a character and letting it fight another. Sounds crazy, right? Well, video game patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund thinks so too, describing the situation as, quote, an embarrassing failure of the U.S. patent system, end quote. It's not just Pal World this could affect either. Games like the upcoming Honkai Nexus Anima from Hoyoverse and the Digimon game that Bandai Namco put out earlier this year could be accused of patent infringement thanks to these new patents. Come on, Nintendo, do better.
Big news for Escape from Tarkov fans, and not all of it good. Developer Battlestate Games has confirmed that when the tactical shooter officially launches version 1.0 on November 15th and arrives on Steam, longtime players will need to buy the game again if they want it in their Steam library. According to the studio's FAQ, even existing players must purchase a Steam copy, though accounts can be linked and automatically upgraded to the higher edition owned. Still, the move has sparked heavy criticism online, with some calling it scummy and accusing Battlestate of disrespecting loyal fans. While players can keep using the original launcher, many say they were hoping for free Steam keys like other developers have offered. The controversy follows backlash over July's hardcore wipe, which already made Tarkov tougher than ever.
Where would we be without another Laz Talks about how expensive it is to collect every Pokemon segment? During Friday's Nintendo Direct, it was announced that Pokemon Legends ZA, a game that doesn't come out for almost a month, will be getting a paid DLC, which will be the only way to obtain the 2 newly revealed Mega Raichu forms. On top of that, Mega Evolutions for each of the fully evolved Kalos starter Pokemon were revealed, but of course there's a catch. You'll have to win online ranked battles, which you need the Nintendo Switch Online subscription to do. This adds up to a total between $110 and $150, depending on the game version and subscription tier. I'm not happy with it, but the Pokemon-induced cognitive dissonance is overpowering.
The long-awaited return of Skate has finally arrived, but it's making headlines for reasons you might not expect. Players are going viral on social media for discovering hilarious new ways to travel across the map, by rolling, sliding, and even spread-eagling, sometimes faster than using a skateboard at all. But while the clips are entertaining, not all players are impressed. Over 6,000 Steam reviewers have left the game sitting at a mixed score, with complaints about missing features like the Hall of Meat, Pro Skaters, and fan-favorite modes, alongside reports of crashes and repetitive challenges. Still, some fans argue that the game feels great to play and reminds others it's still in early access. For now, Skate is proving to be as divisive as it is entertaining.
Kent State Esports is back in full swing once again. Since last week, the Golden Flashes have played 3 matches, having mixed success. On Wednesday, September 10th, the Rocket League team lost to Eastern Michigan 3-1. However, on Thursday, the 11th, the Overwatch team beat Buffalo 2-1. Unfortunately, they lost to Ball State last night, with the final score being 3-0. And finally, the Rocket League team started their match with Buffalo around an hour ago, which they lost 3-0. Better luck next time, Flashes. Don't miss the upcoming matches tomorrow and next Tuesday, the 23rd, on Twitch at Esports KSU. After the break, Sav and company talk about video game adaptations.
And hopefully we won't need a day 1 patch. All systems go, we'll be right back.
Halo is a great game in my opinion, Master Chief, but the show, we don't mention it. I'm Sav, here to talk about video game adaptations with Michael, Naki, Noah, and Laz. Hear how there were video game movies and shows we loved and the ones we don't even need. First question is, what is everyone's favorite game adaptation? Noah?
I think for me, probably actually be the Fallout show that came out recently. I feel like it captures the whole game aesthetic and the way they do the story really well, and the different story perspectives from like the ghoul, the vault dwellers, and just the surface dwellers, and just showing all that. I think they did a great job with that, and I'm excited for season 2. What about you guys?
Nice. For me, it's probably a simple answer, but just the Sonic trilogy. Like, kind of just the way they portrayed Sonic on the big screen, and like the first time they did it, which was pretty horrendous from the trailer, but after they kind of redesigned him, it kind of went really well. So yeah, I can't wait for the 4th movie that comes out in a few years. So
I think my favorite is stuck between 2, either The Witcher on Netflix or Castlevania, also by Netflix. Those are my 2 favorite adaptations. They're also like really game accurate. The Witcher started like falling off at the end. That's why Henry Cavill left and started going away from. But the first few seasons of The Witcher, I think, are one of the best video game adaptations.
So I have kind of a very opposite answer to that, which is one that is not especially game accurate, but and I also don't even think it's like a particularly good movie, but I really enjoyed going to see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie when it came out, just because it was just like a really fun vibe. It's like, you know, when everyone in the theater is like having a great time and like, you know, making jokes, and like, you know, you can tell that everyone is like hyped to be there and be making jokes, and it's not just like 2 obnoxious kids in the front who are, you know, making everything worse for everyone. I went in cosplay as Purple Guy, and it was awesome.
nice.
Yeah, for me it was The Last of Us, and just watching it and seeing how it was, because I haven't played the game before and I want to start getting into playing the game. So that was one of the really big things for me. One of the other questions I want to ask is there any games you would like to see in a real life project or in any adaptation you would like to see remade?
I think Outlast would make a really good horror movie.
That could work. It's tough because I'm like trying to think.
There's media I really like, but I can't see it kind of outside of the game it's in. But I think, I don't know if anyone's played Ultra Kill. It's kind of a game like where you're V1 this robot, kind of descending through the layers of hell, surviving off blood. And that's kind of the whole thing. But the concept of it being put in a show and showing like the Dante's Inferno layers, I think would be cool. But conceptually, it's a very desolate land, so I don't know how they do that. But I'd like to see some, like a comic or something would be cool.
Maybe at least like one of my favorite games to play, Siege. I'm a big action guy. I think that would be a kind of cool way to like visualize it in like more of the video game sense, especially because it's like supposed to be a super strategic, kind of realistic game shooter. So I think that would be cool to see how they would be able to do that in like a real life sense, not just on a video game.
Nice. Mine is also again a simple answer, but we've gotten Street Fighter, we've got Mortal Kombat. I would like to see Tekken, like in an anime style. I would actually really like to see Tekken. I think that would cook.
I feel like that's like the hard thing about making video game like movies and shows is like a lot of the appeal of video games comes from it being something where you get to make choices and like control the story. So when you take that part away from the person, you know, watching or playing, it's less fun in a lot of ways. So it's
That's
hard to
fair,
make
that's
one that
fair.
people like.
I think that's why a lot of older games shows do really well, depending, because some of them were terrible. A lot of the Americanized ones were really bad. But if anyone ever gets the chance, the Darkstalkers shows, based off the Darkstalkers fighting games, are really good in themselves and just kind of take the characters in their own way. But I usually think, because they couldn't get much story out in those old arcade games, it was just something to get that story out.
Well, you guys just kind of led into my next question, which is, what was the worst movie adaptation, or even movie TV show adaptation? Which for me, I already said in the beginning, Halo. I absolutely hated it. I love the game, love a few of the actors, hated the show because it didn't represent the game. What about you guys?
First Super Mario movie live action. Next.
I actually, on a similar track, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. I thought it was funny. It was funny, and the nostalgia hits. But like at some point, it just turns into like a fever dream. It's like, what am I watching? What are they doing? How did they get funding to do this?
I think for the time, it did well because they only had 2 games to go off of, and so after that, it's like, what can we do? But
Yeah.
it does feel like a trip sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, I will agree with you on that.
And then I think for me, you already took the low-hanging fruit with the Mario movie, but I think another genuine horrible adaptation was, it's kind of in the same vein as Super Mario Super Show. I think it was called The Game Wizard or something. It was based off one of the movies where it's like this Nintendo-funded show where Mega Man is this really short dude with a really scraggly accent. Like, he sounds horrible. Kid Icarus, like Pit, is some other. It's just, it's a 90s show using a bunch of Nintendo games. It's essentially a Nintendo ad, but they do nothing right with any of the characters, and it's just like basic 80s, oh, this is a video game, so this is cool, but like none of the characters even are close to their original adaptation. It's just whatever.
Well,
That's
that
insane.
leads me into my last question. Do you know about the ones that are coming out now, like Mortal Kombat 2, FNAF 2, and even Street Fighter, the new one?
I mean, admittedly, I probably will not like see the FNAF sequel in theaters just because there's just not as much hype, and I didn't enjoy the experience because of the story of the movie. I enjoyed it because it was like, the energy in the theater. I don't think it'll be the same experience, so I just don't know how much fun it'll be.
It was like a long time coming because it was like, how many years since the movie was playing? Like 7
yeah,
or
like
something
they've been
like
planning it
that?
for so long.
I'm probably going to go with a group of friends.
It depends, yeah.
Well, so after the break, Cohlman reviewed Street Fighter, the movie, the game. All systems go, we'll be right back.
The day Cohlman reviewed Street Fighter, the movie, the game, was the most important day of your life, but for us, it was Wednesday.
Hey y'all, Cohlman here. With the announcement of the full cast reveal for the new 2026 live-action Street Fighter movie, it made me want to reflect on the previous live-action Street Fighter movie. No, not that one, even though it's amazing. Okay, definitely not that one, that is just absolute trash. But the first one, in 1994, which is also simply titled Street Fighter. But I'm not here to talk about the movie itself, rather the game it was based on. That's right, today we're going to discuss Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Specifically the console version. Why not the arcade version? Well, let's look back on how this game came about to be. In 1992, developer Incredible Technologies released a fighting game titled Time Killers, which is known for its graphic violence and limb-chopping mechanics. Because of this, it was always seen as a Mortal Kombat ripoff since it debuted the same year. However, it was meant to be more of an answer to Street Fighter all along. Fast forward 2 years, when Capcom was wanting to make a game adaptation of their flagship fighter's blockbuster, they wanted to incorporate digitized graphics, much like Mortal Kombat's, but realized they had no idea how to even do that. So, seeing the work that IT had done with Time Killers and its colorful visual display, they made them learn how to do it instead. So yeah, a company that ripped off both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter was consulted, paid by, and signed a deal with Capcom to make a digitized Street Fighter game that technically rips off Mortal Kombat in the process. Harder than Sub-Zero ripping off your spinal cord. But yeah, one development cycle later, arcade game comes out to coincide movie, and it flops hard. So hard that when it came time to port it to the PS1 and Sega Saturn, Capcom went and made a whole new version themselves. How much better is Street Fighter the movie, the game, the console edition? Well, let's find out. For this video, I will be showing gameplay of the PS1 version. Booting up the game, we see an opening containing footage from the movie, albeit in glorious PS1 FMV compression. Upon reaching the main menu, we are greeted to a decent-ish variety of modes to dabble into. There's Street Battle, which is basically the traditional arcade run-through of Street Fighter, with a ladder of fighters ending with the villain and Bison, which is followed by endings loosely inspired by the movie. Versus Battle, which is basically just multiplayer mode. Trial Battle, which tracks your aggressiveness and mastery of characters and gameplay. Backup, which basically just lets you view arcade scores. And lastly, probably the most interesting of these, is Movie Battle, which literally takes you through a sequence of events aligned with the movie itself, pitting you as Guile and making you face various characters. Which, if I'm not mistaken, that makes this the very first instance of a story mode in a fighting game, even if it's just an adaptation. You can even branch down different paths by choosing different answers to characters. You also sort of have unlimited continues, but you do have a ticking time bomb which counts down during the fight's time limits. It can trigger a game over if it reaches 0, and honestly, with how the AI is in this game and how it feels to play, it isn't all that far-fetched. Speaking of which, how exactly does this game play? Well, I'll start off by saying that it controls fine. You have the same 3 punches and kicks as you would in normal Street Fighter gameplay, with familiar command moves mapped to iconic characters. If you can throw a Hadouken in Street Fighter 2, you can do so here as well. There are also straight up new features introduced that would become staples of the series, including EX moves, which are powered up special moves by adding an additional button press at the cost of some of your super meter, projectile deflection with certain characters, and even throw reversals, which are basically escape/counters to throws. All of these are great features, but the problem with this game is that the gameplay feels too stiff. Not as stiff as something like the original Street Fighter from 1987, but enough to make certain combos and even special moves feel a bit awkward to perform. This issue likely came about in response to the arcade version's problem of it feeling way too loose and unpolished, so that's probably why everything feels way tighter here. It also doesn't help that the presentation ranges from mediocre to subpar. As mentioned previously, this game uses digitized graphics. The backgrounds look fine as a result from this, but the sprites of the fighters themselves just look abysmal. The resolution of their capture makes their facial features unrecognizable and overall just very blurry. You can literally see remains of blue screening when they captured all the actors during filming. That is honestly just unacceptable, especially from as big of a publisher as Capcom. This isn't just the case for the PS1 version, by the way. The Sega Saturn version looks basically the same despite being able to capture 2D work and atmospheric design better than the PS1. This is the one aspect where the arcade version does come out on top, as its digitalization is admittedly captured excellently here. There are also scaling issues with certain character sizes, appearances, and animations. Characters like Blanca and Zangief are not portrayed nearly as authentically as they should be. Blanca's nowhere near as buff and as monstrous looking as his game appearance, and Zangief looks way shorter than he should be, and way less muscular. But this is more so an issue with the movie itself and not necessarily the game. This is something that should have just been captured better in the movie itself. Overall, Street Fighter, the movie, the game, the console edition, is a decent tie-in to coincide a forgettable movie that was merely made to cash in on the success of the IP of the time. If you're any sort of fan of the movie itself, you can definitely get some amount of enjoyment out of this for what it is, as it is a bit fun to play and even more so to see how this adapts to the movie. But if you don't really care for the movie and are just looking for another good Street Fighter game to play, you'd be better off just playing nearly every other entry in the franchise. Still has a better story than Street Fighter V though. Even considering the time frame of 1995 when this game was new, you'd honestly still be better off playing Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo or Street Fighter Alpha instead, as Alpha 1 had just been released in arcades and would get a PS1 port in just a few months. Now this does beg the question, will we be getting a new game tie-in to the new Street Fighter movie next year? Probably not. But we will likely get a big event in Street Fighter 6 to coincide something like this, which would be very interesting to see play out. Overall, I give the Street Fighter movie game a solid 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching, everyone. Now go watch some more All Systems Go. Peace out.
After the break, we'll be put to the test with a Nintendo Direct guessing game. All Systems Go, we'll be right back.
Hello, dear viewer. It's me, Wyatt, making my season debut here on ASG. My voice doesn't sound weird. Your voice sounds weird. Do you know what else sounds weird? Nintendo. Have you ever heard some of these Direct headlines? I have. And I think they're so weird. And I think that they're so weird that I told Jenny to make a list of them and that I would quiz people on them. So that's it. That's my game. Here we've got Brody, we have Coleman, we have Sav, and we have Lynn. I'm going to be reading them headlines from previous Nintendo Directs, and they have to guess the game they're referring to. If nobody gets it after 10 seconds, I'm going to give you a hint. If you continue to not get it, I'm going to give you a hint. Am I clear?
Yep.
All right, let's start with the first headline. Eat, and throw sushi on Nintendo Switch? Coleman, were you first? I wasn't looking at you.
Is it Sushi Striker the Way of Sushido?
It is Sushi Strikers the Way of Sushido. Okay, we'll just move on. I don't think we need the hint graphic because you already got it. Okay, moving on to headline number 2. The Marvel Universe arrives on Nintendo Switch. Oh, that was really close. Brody, I think you were first.
Is that the Marvel Fighting Classic Collection?
It is not.
Darn.
Coleman?
Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Incorrect. Coleman?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order.
Jeez. Yep, that is correct.
Oh
I was
my.
really waiting for it.
Holy.
Yeah, that's 2 for Coleman. Everyone else is at 0. Coleman, I'm proud of you. Headline. Put your sleuthing skills to the test in 2 classic murder mystery games. Lynn.
Famicom Detective Club.
Famicom Detective Club. I'm not going to give you the subtitle for that one because it's like 10 words long, and that's ridiculous. The Missing Heir and the Girl Who Stands Behind. That's a dumb title. Okay, number 4. Build a new world and battle the children of Hargon.
The children of what?
Hargon.
That don't sound right.
You've never been to Hargon?
Oh, never mind.
You would have had to been there.
I'm sorry, my ears weren't working right.
I feel like I know this one.
I feel like I would too.
All right, let's see a hint. There's the graphic.
Wait.
Brody.
Is it? I don't know. I won't get the exact title, but is it one of the Dragon Age? Like one of the new Dragon Age songs? Because I know it's like Toriyama's art style.
Lynn?
Is it Dragon Quest Builders 2?
It is Dragon Quest Builders.
I
It
knew
was some kind of Dragon Quest.
It was Dragon something.
I'm not gonna
All
know
right.
any of this, guys.
You and me both.
Moving on to number 5. Who will join you on your adventure? Hint. Anyone can. That's not a real hint. That's the name of the headline. Looks like we've got our first hint.
Wait,
Lynn was first.
Is it Metopia?
It is Metopia. The headline really gives it away with that one. Or not the headline, but the graphic.
Yes.
All right, number 6. Save the Prince and the World. Coleman.
Prince of Persia and the Tides of Time? Is that what it's called?
Incorrect. I'm going to give you 5 seconds before we move on.
No one has it.
No
Let's
one
move
gets the
on.
cookie. All right, number 7. Realistic racing heading towards Nintendo Switch. Oh, I'm sorry. It was The Lost Crown.
Oh, what?
You're supposed to know your Prince of Persia games.
Well, I'm sorry.
All right, number 7's headline is Realistic Racing headed for Nintendo Switch. Coleman?
Disney Speedstorm?
No. I don't think Mickey's real.
Fair.
5, 4. Brody?
Mario
Kinda got
Kart
it.
8 Deluxe?
No.
I don't know.
Mario also isn't real. Coleman?
Fast RMX.
Fast RMX?
Wait, that was a launch title.
Incorrect.
Never mind.
There's the headline, or there's the graphic. Coleman?
Burnout Racing Burnout
No.
Paradise Remastered.
No.
Dang it.
Lynn?
Something from the Dirt series?
Brody, you're the last one.
Forza?
No, it was Grid Autosport. You guys don't remember Grid Autosport? All right, number 8.
No, quite
Okay.
frankly.
A small
Did you
town
remember it?
with a big secret.
What a big secret. Not even lying.
We're running it. This is going to end up being our last question. There's the graphic.
They might know it.
Is it that?
5 seconds.
We're at a dead loss.
Little Town Hero.
Oh.
Okay.
Personally, didn't play it. I don't think I played a single one of these on this list. All right, we're going to give it one more just for mercy. Headline. Kirby even makes friends with those characters.
Why'd you look at the camera like that?
That's what it says.
Kirby Star Allies.
Kirby Star Allies, developed by HAL Laboratory. That will give Lynn the win with 4. Cohlman has 2, and nobody else got a point. I'm proud of Lynn, and I'm proud of Cohlman. Well,
Yay.
that is all the time that we have for this week's episode of All Systems Go. Follow our Instagram for some fun behind-the-scenes content, and our YouTube for past episodes. All Systems Go, signing off.